My son drained my bank account and took his wife and her mother to Rome. I just smiled to myself, and 3 days later, he called me sobbing. Mom, what did you do? My retribution was complete. The day I needed to breathe the most was the very day my son took every single dollar without even leaving a note. Eleanor Ellie Price froze for a long time. She sat on her old worn cloth armchair, the same one she bought when Jackson turned 7, using the first decent paycheck she earned cleaning homes in the Hollywood Hills. In front of her, the cell phone screen glowed with a notification that chilled her blood. Available balance, $0. She read it again and a fourth time. Her hands trembled, not from old age, though she was 68 years strong, but from something deeper, a sickening knot that forms when the soul understands, but the heart refuses to accept. She called the bank. A robot answered. Then a human representative tried to ask questions. They told her the movements had been made online, wire transfers for large amounts totaling over $80,000. It was her entire life's work, her savings, her security, her only safety net. And where did the money go? She asked, her voice broken, as if she knew the answer, but needed to hear it from someone else. It was all transferred to an account in the name of Jackson Arthur Price. Ma'am, the executive replied indifferently. Do you want to file a fraud report? Ellie didn't respond. She hung up without saying a word. Silence filled the house. The only sounds were the ticking of the clock in the kitchen and the buzz of a dying fluorescent light bulb. Outside, the ice cream truck played its familiar tune, oblivious to the abyss that had just opened inside her. Then the landline rang, the old phone she kept out of habit. Hello, she said, her voice flat. Ellie, honey, did you see your Jackson's Instagram? It was the excited voice of Doris, her longtime neighbor. He's in Rome, child, eating fancy food with his wife and mother-in-law. Lord, what a life they live. They look like movie stars. Ellie swallowed hard. Her soul seemed to leave her body for an instant. She walked slowly to her room, opened the drawer where she kept her old smartphone, and searched for her son's profile. She wasn't big on social media, but she followed him from a distance like someone peering through a window at a life that no longer belonged to them. There he was, Jackson, her only son, the boy she brought into the world with pain and raised alone since his father left her for another woman. The same son she gave everything to, even the family land her parents left her so he could go to college. He was smiling, a glass in hand, dressed in a crisp white shirt, embracing Tanya, his wife, and Rhonda, the mother-in-law who always looked down her nose at Ellie. The photo caption read, Rome, my new beginning. I deserve this. And in the comments, Tanya had written, Good things come to those who wait. Thanks for everything, Mama-in-law, with a money emoji. Ellie didn't cry. She didn't scream or break anything. She just stood there holding the phone like a burning brick. Then, without anyone to notice, she smiled. But it was a different kind of smile, as if she finally understood something she had avoided seeing for years. Far away, under a cloudy sky, and among the cobblestone streets of Rome, Jackson raised his glass without guilt. See? Tanya said, sipping expensive wine. It was a good idea to take the money. She's going to die soon anyway. Better we use it before it goes to medical bills. Rhonda, her mother, let out a harsh laugh. Clueless old lady. She doesn't even know what a plane is. She was never going to do anything useful with that cash. Jackson didn't say anything. He looked at the Colosseum with shining eyes, but something was churning inside him, but he kept quiet, just as he had learned to do since he was a boy and was hungry. And his mother would tell him, Hold on, baby. We'll have it tomorrow. The walls of Ellie's house seemed older that night. Everything was in its place, but nothing felt the same. On the shelf were photos of Jackson, small, in preschool, in his first middle school uniform, the day he received his college diploma. Everything she had done, she did for him. At 18, she sold her engagement ring to pay for his high school. At 23, she gave him the family land her daddy left her. At 30, she helped with the wedding expenses, even though Tanya never cared for her. Ellie cooked for him, washed his clothes, and cleaned up after him, and he only drifted further away. Mom, you don't understand this world, he'd say dismissively. Things aren't done like they used to be. Tanya and I have big plans, and son, I'm part of those plans. You'll always be in my heart, Mama, but you can't be tied to me for life. A week before discovering the betrayal, Ellie had tried to visit Jackson at his apartment in Studio C.